we are back. I just want to give a quick shout out to all my subscribers and all those that's tuning in. I thank you. But what are we here to talk about today? Accountability. That's right. Do women have accountability today? We're going to check out Dana D 1987. Shout out to her on TikTok. She has great content. I check out most of everything she does. She makes great points, right? She stays on topic and she hits home with a lot of things she says. But the question today is accountability. When we're out here in the dating market, man, as we move day to day, do women have accountability as you move through the dating market? That's the question. We're here today to try to answer. That's what we're trying to get to the bottom of, right? And I would say that when you hear most women speak, we've all watched the Pop the Balloons. We've all seen those episodes, those videos. Those women choose differently. Most men would say it's odd how most women choose today and how they value themselves versus the way the market values them. They don't value the market, right? They don't take accountability for the things they have done and things they have, right? We talk about how would it be to date a single mom, men that have been married, right? Men that want marriage. Would you want to take on the stepfather role? But today, we're going to check out a couple clips. We're going to talk about accountability. We're going to get deep into the topic. We're going to check out, of course, Dana. I think she does great work. We want to just hear how women move in today's market. And I want to see how you feel about the way they move in today's market. Because this is the question we're here to ask, right? Are they moving weird? That's just what we want to know. Are they moving weird? Is it a disproportionate view of how men move and want and things that we believe that we should have? Let's think about it, right? Most women do not feel that having a child stops anything in the dating market. They still look good. I still provide value. I cook, I clean. They say all these things, but we watch divorce court, right? We see how it is in the child divorce, the child system when we're trying to get our children, right? Parental court, right? So, again, it's a deep topic. We're going to check out some clips. We're going to get deep. We're going to dissect. Again, I want to hear what you believe in today's market. Comment down in the comment section about what you believe today's market is, right? Is it women not believing what men bring to the table because they are the table? I'm a PhD. You hear women talk about that all the time. How they are the table. Right? But are they? Are they the table? That's the question we have to answer as men. We want to know. We want to get a deep synopsis so we can break it down. But I know that you know what I believe to be true is that women do not value men the way that they should in today's market. They say it has whatever in the dating pool. We've seen those clips. We broke them down. It's not a good scene out there. But again, we're going to dive deep into it. We're going to get into it. We're going to check out some clips and see what Miss Dana D has to say about the topic. So again, shout out to my subscribers. I thank you again. But let's check out what she has to say.
5 things that women lie on social media and claim to not like, but they actually love it. First thing you got to understand about most women is that a lot of them are liars and they have selective morality. So they pick and choose when they want to have integrity. Coming in at number 1, because it's my favorite, is cheating. I done said this before. Women do not hate cheating. Women hate being cheated on. Majority of women, if you have a conversation with them, you'll find out that at some point in their life, whether they was young, old, they've been another woman, right? They've been the other woman to a man who was cheating. They had no problem being a side chick. They had no problem messing around with a man who they knew was taken. I done met so many women throughout my life. I have had to cut women off because they can't seem to stop messing with other people's men. And I don't do that, right? I don't hang around people that do that. That's a no-go for me. I don't play that. But they will sit up in your face and tell you how horrible cheating is. But the truth is, they only care when they the one being cheated on. And a lot of them, contrary to popular belief, don't actually hate being cheated on. They hate the embarrassment that comes with being cheated on when people find out. But if the man would cheat on her in secrecy and only him and her knew that the cheating was going on, most of them, they really don't care. Number 2, a lot of women, mistreatment, they don't hate it as long as you can compensate them for it, right? Like, you can actually mistreat them as long as the money right. They'll give up their dignity and respect for money. A lot of them can be bought. So it doesn't matter how disrespectful that man is. It don't matter how terrible he treat her as long as the compensation adds up and makes sense, literally. Next, number 3, deadbeats. Women actually love deadbeats, right? Especially when he can give her all his time. You think that while she out going on these dates and he taking her out of the country and doing all of this stuff that she asking him, well, why you ain't spending this time with your kids? No, she don't care that he ain't spending this time with them kids. She don't care that she don't never hear him talking about going to get them kids. She don't care that she ain't never seen him talk about sending no money to them baby mamas. Only person she care about is her, all right? As long as he treating her good. And if she got kids, she only cares about the treatment that he gives to her children. Biological, not biological. She only cares about her and her situation. Attention. Number 4, women love attention. They'll sit up and tell you and lie straight to your face and tell you that they don't do this for attention. They don't do that for attention. They absolutely love attention. They love male attention as long as it's from the man that they want the attention from. All right? It only gets questionable when it's a man that they don't like. But if it's a man that they like, absolutely, absolutely. You think if her and her homegirls go out and they see a table full of fine men that they don't want to be approached and they don't want conversation had by those men? Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. I don't care what they telling you. All right. It's the ugly dudes that's coming up and bothering them that they got a problem with. But they absolutely have no issue with attractive men shooting a shot, talking to them, conversating with them. They love that. They like attention. They go out of their way for attention. They'll throw other women under the bus for attention. They'll do a lot of things to get attention. Don't believe that. And last but not least, number 5, marriage. Majority of these women absolutely wanted marriage. A lot of these women who accepted these babies in no ring, yeah, they wanted to be married. All right. When you go into the comment section of women who getting proposed to, women who get married, look at that comment section. Just full of women just wanting that to be them, wishing that had been them, right? It just didn't end up being them. And, they'll sit up and tell you stuff like, if I wanted to be married, I could. Yeah, you could, to some loser, some ugly loser. But the man who you actually would want to be married to, no, you couldn't just be married to him because he'd actually have to ask you. And he's not doing that. You know that. We know that. The men that you want to marry you are not marrying you. So, no, you don't have the ability to marry the men that you want. You could get married. Anybody could get married. Get married to the person that you actually want to be married to is a completely different story. But yes, if they could actually be married to the men that they want, they would. This concludes my list. I hope you enjoyed it.
And that's it right there. If they could be married to the men that they qualify as worthy, they would. She makes a very valid point. Right there. They are choosing certain type of men. And the men that they are choosing, whether they be in relationships or married, does not matter. This is the man that I choose. Is that right? Or is that wrong? That's for you to answer. That's for us to answer, right? That is the question we're here to answer today. Accountability. Do they take accountability for the decisions that they make? But when they come across a certain type of man, is it his fault or is it their fault, right? We always play this seesaw game of whose fault is it, right? Like we're putting the blame game on certain people. But again, we must find out where accountability falls at. That is the whole reason why we're here. Let's check this clip
Why
out.
do modern women struggle with accountability?
Because that would mean that they have to acknowledge that they don't bring value to the table. That would mean that they have to acknowledge that all they have to offer is beauty and intimacy.
So,
and that's unfortunate.
What is a modern woman in your opinion?
A modern woman of 2024 is a woman that seeks attention and validation more than respect and authenticity. It is a woman who is entitled to whatever it is that people have around her. It is a woman that takes things for granted, is not appreciative, and kind of just has a high level of expectation with low level of give. You know, she's a taker, not a giver. So that's my opinion of a modern day woman. And I really feel like if you really sit down and understand that all you have to offer is a pretty face and yeah, the kitty, I mean, that's unfortunate. That's empty. You know?
I mean, but a lot of people are sold that the kitty is the most valuable thing of a woman too. That's probably why they're
giving it up for a meal at Checkers.
Just not kidding. Checkers.
She ain't going to Checkers. She ain't even going to Cheesecake Factory. She wants Boa. She wants Steak 48. She wants Nobu. So $100 instead of $40.
Damn.
Still a lose if you ask me.
Well, this clip may be from 2024, but if you ask me, still a lose in my category. Still a loss. Still an L. You take an L, right? If I have to pay this exorbitant amount for something that someone got for free, it is therefore, should we say, worthless? Let's check this clip out.
Talk about us, ladies. I do. Y'all say we not. Y'all say we not smart. Y'all say we not smooth. So how do these that's not smart, not smooth, not keep finessing you? How? If it's not you, how do that's not smart? How do that don't got don't do don't give you? How they keep getting over on you? Who is it? If it's not smart, if we got no game, if we don't know how to cheat, who is it? Like I'm not trying to be rude. I'm saying y'all not vetting these, bruh. Y'all do invest. You let tell you he got some plans for you and you start investing immediately. Y'all don't require no type of evidence for. Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? Like, who was you before you got here? What do you provide yourself? Do you feel safe in your own skin?
Hey, can
the choosing process. Do you feel safe in your own skin? That's a real question. That's a question that we have to ask our learnettes, right? We're here to learn, and the women here in the community are the learnettes. Do they believe that they are learning from this topic? That's what we're here to do, to grow. This community is for men, but we're here to grow. Do we believe that what he is saying is very true? It's the choosing process. Ladies, you must choose the right way. For if you don't, the alternative is, as we see, not a good road for you, right? I want to know what you think. I want to start a conversation. I want to know how we all feel about this. And is it about the woman more than the man? Are the men not being accountable? Do we as men feel that we're not being accountable? We have to all take our accountability. That's what I feel. When we see these clips, when we go over and we review, we understand that accountability is on both sides. That is one thing I would say.
Me being single
Let's
at my
check
age
this
didn't
out.
come from bad decision making, stupid. It came from me never finding the man that I wanted to be with. I don't know in what delusional world y'all men live in where you think that it was all of these wonderful, great men running around when we was in our 20s and we just passed up on all of these great guys. The attractive men when we were in our 20s were doing what attractive men do, which is be players, talk to a whole bunch of different women, and never want to settle down. You do understand that, right? So given that the attractive men in their 20s didn't want to settle down, that left us with ugly dudes, dudes with kids, and dudes who didn't have themselves together. It's the same thing now that I'm older. The options didn't go from good to bad. It went from bad to worse, right? Now, instead of dudes just having kids, they got kids and grandchildren. And if you think some of them was unattractive back then, add on now the fact that some of them is out of shape, they ain't got no hairline, and they missing side teeth. They wasn't financially stable in their 20s, and a lot of them still ain't financially stable. Some of them still paying child support from the same babies that they was having when they was in their 20s.
So I actually agree with her on that. I don't usually agree with her, but I agree with her on this. Literally telling women that the reason why they're single is because they've made bad choices and it's all about them choosing the wrong guy is literally saying the reason why you work a 9 to 5 is because you made bad choices in life instead of finding the right business. It's like saying you never had your dream job because you were a bad decision maker. And if you were a better decision maker, you would have never ended up at jobs you didn't like and left, right? Because when you go to a job, you go there thinking they're going to do right by you. You don't always have the review at hand at your disposal. So you take the job and you do right by them and expect them to do right by you. Then they do wrong by you, and somehow that's your fault. This is men's mentality because in their view, they find a way to blame women for everything when their views don't logically make sense. And if you were to spin this thing right back on them, you would tell them the same thing. They'll be telling you the reason why you're single is because you're a bad decision maker while being single. And the real reason why they're single is because they
You've heard of the 7 deadly sins? I'm going to start talking about the 7 deadly sins for the 7 deadly curses for modern women. And one of them is a lack of humility. A lack of humility. Most modern women are too impressed with themselves. That's why you could have a chick who's every bit of 5 on a good day talk about, I'm a 10 because I got confidence. I'm a 10 because of...
So there. What do we think? How do we break it down? How do we as men find out if we are in the realm of a woman that wants to be a wife? How do we dissect? How do we break down? This is the questions we're asking, because if I do this, I'm too soft. If I do that, I'm too strong. I'm masculine, right? I'm overbearing. So where is the median? That's what men are asking. We're trying to figure out women. And that's why we break down these clips. This is why we go over this content, so we can further break down how women perceive the way that we move. Is it the red pill content that made us this way? This is what we're trying to probably get away from. If we break it down further, maybe we're purple pill, right? Because if you're blue pill, they would call you soft. These are the way that they break down us as men. And we're here to further dissect this question. And I want to know what you think. What you think of the content. Let me know what you want to bring to the channel. I'm trying to bring you the best content to help us as men further break down what is going on. Right? Because these are the questions we are asking when we're out in the dating scene. Should I spend $200 on the first date? Should I spend $50 on the first date? Should it be a coffee date? Should we walk in the park? These are all the questions as men we're asking, which is the right route. And we have to figure this out. But only through the choosing process can we further dissect this and make the right decision. Not only should we do this every day, but we should further. I want to check out what you think in the comment section. I'm going to check you guys out later. Peace.